Hey you guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's super duper bland behind me right now. I have absolutely nothing there. I have a new rack coming. I decided to switch up my office here. Before, my desk that's like now right here in front of me was like over there. You can't really tell. But this was my backdrop, and now I've kind of just switched it up. So what I plan on doing is actually keeping like just a really simple, cool look. I'm getting a coat rack here that'll have all my jerseys, and then on this wall right behind me here, I'm gonna have a shelf put up with some nice like fake plants and stuff, and some just hockey photos and stuff like that on there. I really want to just have like a cleaner, more professional look for the backdrop of my videos. And I'm waiting on this rack to get here. It's still like 2 weeks out, so between now and then we're probably just gonna have a very boring background. But either way, boring or not, I still think it looks kind of cool. Today's video, I want to talk about 5 negatives to Fanatics taking over for Adidas in 2024. So in a couple seasons, not this end of the season, not the end of next season, but the season after that. There seems to be a lot. I made a post over on my Instagram telling you guys to give me some positives and some negatives. I got a ton of negatives. Like, I'm going to be honest, a ton, which is to kind of be expected with this change. But I did get a decent amount of positives. It was honestly hard to make a list of 5. I probably realistically only got like 4, but I kind of made some up and found some kind of positives to put into that. So if you guys want to see that video, it will be released in a couple days. So make sure to subscribe if you guys are new. But we're going to go through, talk about these 5 negatives. There's obviously probably more than 5 negatives to this change, but these are kind of just like the big 5 that I had taken away from what everyone said on my Instagram. So if you guys like to participate in a video like this next, then go follow me on Instagram. I'll have a link in the top of the description. I post stuff like this on my story all the time to gather information from you guys and just to make videos like this. And with that said, let's dive into these. So the absolute number one thing I seen on the post, and this was like from numerous people, like lots of people, was the fact of the jerseys just being lower quality, and more specifically the logos. Obviously this is going to happen. I personally don't own a Fanatics jersey currently, just because I haven't found one for a good deal, and I just don't seem worth it. Like, I could spend $50 on like a good deal for Fanatics jerseys, or I could go out and find a good deal for $80 on an Adidas one. Like, it just doesn't seem worth it to me, so I never have. I'm the first person to be optimistic about things, so I don't like being negative. I just think it's not fun. Like, this is something we're all passionate about, so I just don't like to be negative about things. I like to think of positive and be that kind of like, just that positive thinker. That's what I like to try to do. So I do think personally that Fanatics is going to improve on the quality, but yes, I can see how this would be a massive concern to a lot of people. And as of right now, without the actual proof, the evidence of them making better quality jerseys, we just don't know. So right now I can see the quality being a big concern for people, specifically, like super specifically on the logos. Like, they never seem to make logos, and I'm wearing the perfect jersey to talk about this because this Chicago jersey is chain stitched all throughout this logo. This logo is probably one of the best logos of any jersey that I have in my collection, and it's the sole reason why I still have this jersey in my collection, to be honest, is due to the logo. But I am worried, and I know a lot of people are worried, that they're just going to be having their fabric logos that they have. There's some depth to some of them, but most of them are just fabric logos that are stitched. Like, they definitely are stitched to the jersey, but the whole logo is just like fabric. There's nothing really to it. So I can definitely see why that is just a massive concern. As far as the jersey quality, I don't think the Fanatics jerseys are terrible quality, to be honest. They're more like sweaters and like streetwear and just apparel than they are jerseys. But I don't think the jersey itself is bad quality. It's the logo and the number kits that get put on it that are the bad quality. So talking about bad quality, we're going to lead into the next one, which is quality control. Now, Fanatics is bad for quality control. I've seen it all over the place, just with them putting the numbers on wrong, the logos upside down. But like, let's not talk like that Adidas is perfect. Adidas is by no means perfect at this. You get logos that are crooked. You get logos that are bubbling. You get jerseys that are just all sorts of different sizes. I mean, my Washington Capitals reverse retro is a completely different size than what it's supposed to be. So like, the sizing's all over the place with Adidas, so it's not like they're perfect, but Fanatics is definitely really, really bad, and they're bad with bigger things. Like, to me, a jersey size being a little bit different, I can live with. A logo being slightly crooked, is definitely bad, but like putting the whole wrong logo on a jersey is way worse, which Fanatics has done. Putting the logo upside down, much worse, which they have also done. So definitely their quality control needs to be a lot better, especially if they are the main manufacturer for the NHL. They're going to have to produce way more jerseys, like way more. Next up, this one was kind of announced when they announced Fanatics, and that's no more reverse retros. Now, I put this in the negatives because a lot of people seem to be upset. I'm definitely upset, but I think that just means they're going to introduce something new. Like, I could see Fanatics doing their own kind of reverse retro, but a little bit different. Whether they decide to do, like, city jerseys, like the NBA has done, and some other leagues, I believe, have done. So whether they try to do something like that, or they just create their own kind of series that's different from the reverse retro, I could see them doing that. It does suck to not see any more reverse retros, of course, because I think they're fantastic, and there's still a lot of ideas for a lot of teams. So it definitely sucks to see that go. But it does increase the value for those of you who have reverse retros currently in Adidas. I think a lot of people are going to want those in the future. So talking about terrible quality control is also terrible customer service. I personally haven't experienced this, but this was probably the second most talked about thing when I tweeted. This is probably the second most talked about thing in any of your guys' answers on my Instagram, and that was how bad their customer service is. So like I said, I haven't personally experienced this, but you guys seem to be really not a big fan, like at all, with their customer service, and I could definitely see that in what you guys were saying on some of the replies on my post on Instagram. So I'm going to just take your word for it. I'm adding it into this because it was just talked about so much that I just couldn't say it in the video. And then lastly is prices. Now, prices are something that I'm going to talk about in the 5 Pros as well. It's kind of the thing I threw on there because in some ways it's still kind of a pro, but in a lot of ways it's a negative, and that is that their pricing. It's just not good. Like the fact that the Fanatics jersey is only $50 less than this Adidas one is the biggest thing. In my opinion, if that Fanatics one was $100 cheaper, if it was $100 Canadian instead of $150, and you had a $100 difference between Fanatics and Adidas, way better in my opinion. I think that makes way more sense for the jersey that you're getting. They're not supposed to be high quality like these, so it's understandable. And I think $100 for what it would cost to realistically probably make the jersey does make sense in my opinion. Though I hope they come out with a jersey still like this. That's a whole different topic, but hopefully they do, which is an in-between from what the players wear and what they sell now, what Fanatics sells now. Just kind of these bad boys. I think that would be absolutely necessary. I can see them doing that, but we just don't know. We just don't know yet. So pricing is definitely a negative, as well as I guess it could be a positive because Fanatics are still cheaper. But like it's definitely a negative just because if their Fanatics jerseys are $150, I can't see them selling a jersey like this for $200. I think they're going to up it for some reason. I'm feeling like maybe $250 Canadian or something. I don't know what that is in American, and maybe I'll put it on the screen here. But that's what I think the pricing is going to be. I think they're going to make it worse. I don't know why I think that. I'm usually the one who's optimistic. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like why if they sell their Fanatic breakaways at $150, why they'd only keep these ones at $200 more. I think they're going to, especially if they own the jersey. Like Adidas can get away with it. And Adidas is doing it because they're smart, because they know a lot of people are going to choose the Adidas one over the Fanatics one for $50 difference. Like, why wouldn't you? But Fanatics is going to own the marketplace and all the jerseys, so they can make it a little bit more for those people who want to get closer to on-ice jerseys. So it's definitely interesting. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, though. And again, I will be posting 5 positives. I did manage to whip up 5 positives of Fanatics taking over. So if you guys want to see that video, subscribe to the channel. Also like the video if you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.